Look what I have in my palette. This is all of my makeup right here, held with one hand. Look at all this I have. I have 3 lip and cheeks. Yes, lip and cheek. I also have my contour, a bronzer. I have 2 highlights. One's a little darker, one's a little lighter, and I have an illuminator. Plus, I have 2 layers of eyeshadow. This is totally customizable to fit your needs, your wants, or your desires. If you can color by number, you can do this. I'm going to use the detailed hack brush. All of our brushes are double-ended. I'm going to use the larger end, and I'm going to start with a darker brown color. This is called the contour color, and it's not colored by number. I'm just going to put it in places where I want a little shadow. It's very pigmented. Takes very little to apply and to get the coverage. So basically I went hairline halfway down my forehead, down onto the temples, just underneath my cheekbone, just a little bit. Blend it upwards, underneath my chin to my earlobe, and blend it down to my neck. I'm also going to use that same exact brush, and I'm going to contour my nose as well. Get it right on top, and blend it down. I'm going to take just a little bit to underneath my lip, just a little. I'm going to do the other side. The key is minimal. Using a brush, applying minimal product, sheer layer, and allow the color to do its work. That's the key. Now I want to do a little bit of bronzer, a little bit of warming up. I have my bronzer right here. We have 4 different colors. I am using the lighter one. This is called Tan Lines, and I'm using the same brush. I basically went above my brows and blended up to my contour, down the top part of my cheek, outer part of my jaw, and blend it down just a little bit. I'm going to fill in the empty spaces, basically the beard, the mustache area, and the ski mask area down the center of the face. This is left empty for the highlight color, and it is just going to give a little bit of brightening, and I'm going to use an additional one that just adds a little more punch and brightness where I want it, but definitely is not necessary. So I'm going to start with a color that's very close to my skin color. The highlight is a little softer than the contour, so it takes a little pressure to get it on the brush, just lightly dabbing. And I'm just going to fill in the empty spaces and use very minimal product and work it into the skin and into those other colors. Not trying to layer it, but it'll be okay if they bleed in where they meet, which is gold, to help it blend. And notice how I'm pressing it into my skin, and look how very little product I've got on my brush to achieve coverage. You do not need a whole lot of product. All I did is take this same brush and use little stipple motions where the colors are meeting together to make sure it's nice and blended. If you feel like you got a little heavy-handed, just use a beauty blender and little dabbing motions to get off the excess. Now I want a little bit of brightening. This is not a necessary step, but I definitely think is beneficial. I'm going to use a lighter highlight, a couple shades lighter than my highlight color that I use for the mane, and I'm turning it over to this little small brush. I love being able to have two brushes in one, and I'm just going to do a little extra brightening to add a little more pow and pizzazz to the 3D. Basically down the center of my face. Let's add a little bit of pretty flushing to the cheeks. I am going to use this color called Sangria. I'm going to switch to the blending brush. It's super flimsy and light and applies the smallest amount of product, which all I need. This tin probably would last you a couple of years. And I'm just going to add a little bit of cheek color to the apples, exactly wherever you want it. But I like to add it to the apples of my cheek and all the way up to my temple. The great thing about the lip and cheeks with St. Beauty is they double as lip and cheeks. So I'm going to use that exact same color that I added to my cheeks. I'm going to switch to the multitasker brush, and I'm going to just dial with a smaller end and line my lips with this color. Then I'm going to take my finger very lightly I find when you take and you tap on the color, instead of putting it on all over and just press it into the lips, it's like a stain and gives you longevity. I'm going to use a small end of the blending brush that I was using, and I'm going to use my illuminator called Honey. It's my favorite. This is a cream illuminator, so pretty. And I'm just going to give a little bit of illumination to my cheeks to give that pretty glow. You can actually illuminate anywhere you wish. Now, once you're complete with all that, you need to set it. You can use the setting spray by St. Beauty, or you can use the Vanilla Dust setting powders according to the finish that you like. If you like more of the matte, use the Vanilla Dust. If you like more of that dewy finish, highly recommend the setting spray. This is my choice that I use. Completely done. All of my makeup right here. You didn't see me fumble through any kind of palettes or different eyeshadow palettes or bottles or layers of product. This is so simple, but yet so beautiful. The cream is amazing on the skin. If you've never tried cream product, I don't know what you're waiting on. So if you would like to be color matched, go to yes.altheamatchme.com. I'll be glad to customize a palette just for you. If you have any questions about what I do in the artist program, I'd love to share it with you. Thanks for joining in.